Those would be lovely to be seen. Got it. Okay.
Yes, well, good morning, ladies. We are here at the Creators Studio. I'm Karen Ray, and we have a special guest, Sandy Stamato, and we are going to be talking about our saboteurs and how to interact with that, and what does that all mean. So we love bringing women together to learn and gain some new skills. And Sandy, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell us all about it, and begin with a workshop.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you, Karen. It's so good to see everybody's smiley face this morning. I don't necessarily love starting with PowerPoints, but I'm going to because some of the information I want to give to you so that we can set up the context for what we're doing today. So without further ado, let's see if technology is our friend. Yay! Can everybody see that? Thumbs up. Oh, yay! It's a miracle. It worked. Okay, perfect. Okay, where did y'all? You guys are right there. Okay, so I already said, but welcome to the Sales Saboteur or Saboteur, depends if you're English apparently, your Sales Saboteur Buster workshop. And I'm so glad you guys are here. I am a sales mental fitness coach. And I have to tell you, the thing that gets me up in the morning is that I help healers and I help creative entrepreneurs transform their mindset around sales so that they can bring their gifts to the world. And that to me is everything. And you look at it, if you have a business, you're in sales. And sales is tricky, right? There's a lot of stuff around sales. There's a lot, it kind of marinates in a lot of fear, but it doesn't have to. And so what I want to tell you guys, share with you is that for God, the last 35 years, my background has been in sales. I sold advertising. I've done a lot of different sales, and then I became a sales trainer. And I was what we call a gun for hire, which means corporations would hire me to do sales training. I became a sales consultant. Now I'm a sales coach. And because of that, and because of the pandemic, and because of the way things have changed, I have completely changed the way I do all my sales, period. And I created a program called Sage Selling. And Sage Selling is all based on the premise of positive intelligence. And that's what I want to introduce you to today. I want to introduce you to a couple of tools that you guys can use immediately so that you get a chance to bring your gifts to the world and to do it with some ease and play. So that's what I'm doing. Let me see. And some of you, let me just out of curiosity, I can see your little faces. How many of you have heard of positive intelligence other than the people that have actually done it? Okay. Couple hands. Okay. So there's a couple folks that haven't. So what I want to do is just very quickly, boop, boop. Oh, there it goes. I'm going to give you just again, context. So positive intelligence is all about mental fitness. And the way mental fitness is defined is your capacity to respond to life's challenges with a positive rather than a negative mindset. What this means is what percentage of your mind during the course of a day serves you rather than sabotages you. And that's really what positive intelligence is about. So I work with this. This is the baseline, as I said, to everything that I do. And the idea and what I've been finding, which has been so interesting, is that this is a very different kind of a radical way approach to sales. And so we're going to get into it in just a minute. But here is our minds are like, well, what is this thing? I'm just going to very quickly, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I always do this for cred. And the idea is that this is a combination of a lot of sciences. This isn't a flash in the pan. This thing's been around and it has combined a lot of different disciplines, and it is a cutting edge, and a very robust science, I guess, is what I want to say. And the reason why it's taking off and the reason why you're hearing so much about it is because they simplified it. This is a very, very simple program, and you're going to find out in just a minute. So people do positive intelligence for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes people do it for sales, or they do it for work, or they do it for their peace of mind, or they do it for relationships. I work with positive intelligence through the lens of sales. And because, as I mentioned, that I had 35 years of working in very structured, how can I say this so that there's no bad dog here? Oh, what the hell, we're all friends. It was very male and very masculine. It was a very structured way of doing business. And women don't we don't roll like that. We just don't. And so one of the things I've also noticed about positive intelligence and what really got my attention is that they have done study after study, and people that have what I want to say back here, people that have, oh, I'm not going to do that all again. That capacity to be able to look at the world through a positive rather than negative mindset, they have a 37% higher sales rate than those that don't. And it kind of makes sense. So I thought I'm going to test this out. And so far to date, that's exactly what's been happening. But again, the reason why it's so successful is because it's so easy. So this is what I want to tell you what we're going to work on today. There are three mental muscles. I'm not going to tell you the names. We're going to simplify this. There are three mental muscles that positive intelligence has identified in our brain that will help us achieve that goal of the ability to transform, or the ability to look at life, through the lens of positive rather than negativity. And the first muscle is called Saboteur interceptor. And that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to give you guys, we're going to play a game. We're going to play with this so that you guys are able to identify your sales saboteur. Some of you may have taken that test, that the assessment. We're going to talk about that at the end, but I wanted to keep this really simple so that you could walk out the door and go, okay, I got this. So, sales sab. I call it's a thief, because isn't that what happens? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm in the middle of, like, say I'm in the middle of doing this and I love what I do, and all of a sudden that little voice goes, "Oh my God, look at your hair. Did you put lipstick on? Did you even make your lips?" You know what I'm saying? It's like that whole thing, that craziness that can happen with those nasty, nasty, nasty survival techniques, in our brain that are trying to keep us safe. And that's what a saboteur is. It's nothing personal. It's the way our brain works. It wants to keep us safe, and it just doesn't know when to stop. And so that's why I call it my thief. And the reality is, in sales is statistically across the boards, whether you work in a sales organization or whether you own your own business, sales is one of the most stressful positions you'll ever have, right? Because in a business, if you don't sell, you don't have a business. And if you work on a sales team like I used to, if I don't sell, I get fired. So it can really bring up a lot of stuff. So it's all about intercepting that. Next thing for that is the self-command button. I call this the brain hack. And this is, have any of you guys ever done like a meditation retreat, or ever done like a day? Yeah. So I did it, believe it or not, I did a 10-day Vipassana retreat. I didn't talk for 10 days. People that know me are like, are you kidding me? But for 10 days, and during that period of time, that self-command muscle, I could say stop and turn this way. It was phenomenal. The problem is, when I got out of the retreat and I wasn't doing that, it kind of atrophied. But that muscle is there and waiting, to help us, basically. And the thing that's amazing about the self-command muscle is that it allows you to choose whether you want to get stressed out about something. It allows you to figure out, to push away self-doubts. This isn't like Miracle Grow. This isn't fairy dust. This is the way our brain works, and it's a muscle. And one of the things that I love in this program is that what it really does is, it doesn't say, "Oh, you're doing something wrong because you got sabotaged." We call it hijacked. You got hijacked by your saboteurs. It's not what that's about. It's how quickly you come back. And that's what the self-command muscle is. And that's what we're going to work on. I'm going to give you a brain hack today. And last but not least, the third muscle is sage. And I wish we had more time to talk about it, but for the context of this workshop, we can't do that. But the best way I can describe sage is, have you guys ever, I think Karen, once you and I talked about this too, have you guys ever had that experience where you're saying something, and all of a sudden out of your mouth comes this like wisdom, and it's like, oh my God, who was that? You ever had that experience where it's like, that was good. I want a little bit more of that. Well, that is sage, right? And in the sage perspective, and it is a part of our brain. Unfortunately, because those saboteurs have been doing push-ups, literally like a gym, like they've been doing push-ups. And I know this is going to come as a shocker. We live in a very survivalist culture right now, and probably always have. So there's a lot of fear. So our saboteurs are like, yeah. And so the sage part of our brain is quiet. And unless we can intercept it and do a brain hack and lower the temperature, we can't hear the sage. So the sage is yummy. That's all I can say is that, that whole perspective, sage perspective, is that you can turn any situation or challenge into a gift or opportunity. And that's a muscle. It's a muscle, and we all have access. So I'm going to stop for a minute because I have to tell you guys why I'm doing this. So why I decided to do this particular workshop, right? The reason why I decided to do this particular workshop about this particular saboteur is because okay, one of my biggest challenges is doing PowerPoint presentations. It brings out the boogaboo in me like nobody's business. And I was, this was about a month ago, I think. I'm sitting down, I'm like, okay, I got to do this presentation. I don't know if you guys have ever done this. I was like regretting, dreading. I mean, leading up to it, it was just like, I hate doing this. I walked with my husband, I go, I got to do the dishes. It's like anything I could do to avoid it because it brings out all the ickies, right? And I'm sitting there and Miss Positive Intelligence, right? Halfway through that, I realized, oh my God, I've been completely hijacked. I've been completely hijacked by this voice that kept saying, you are going to make an idiot out of yourself. You don't know how to do this. You're going to flop. And you know what? You're going to do it in public. And you know what's going to happen after that? You're going to die alone by, I mean, it's just like, oh my God. And I realized that that was going on. And out of my mouth, because I've been doing this practice, out of my mouth, what I started saying was, liar, 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 pants on fire. And my husband walks by, and I'll never forget. He looked at me and he just goes, whatever. But I got to tell you, at that moment, you guys, because I started laughing at it, and all of a sudden it got quiet. I did my brain hack. I stopped. I did my presentation. It took 45 minutes to do a PowerPoint. And this has never happened to me before. People clapped afterwards. And I got to say that that was this moment where I thought, I won't be fooled again. I know that voice. Guess what happened last night when I was doing this? Liar, liar. I mean, it's sneaky. Our saboteurs are sneaky because they feel so real, right? So I'm going to go back to my little, let's see if I can do this. Technology is so beautiful. Okay. So that's my story of why I'm doing this. And I'm just so thrilled so that you guys can have that experience as well. Okay. Let me go here. Oh yeah, we did that. Okay. So what are we going to do? We're going to do a group activity. We're going to find out the voice, our self-saboteur voice. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do breakout rooms. So you guys can have a chance to interview each other's saboteur, get information about it so that you will have that opportunity to say liar, liar, pants on fire, whatever you want to say. Then I'm going to teach you a brain hack of how to go ahead and do this with self-command. We're going to come back, review it, and then I'm going to talk about the saboteur assessment for those that did it. And the last but not least, Karen, I don't know if it's okay after we close, if we take people that want to stay for 5 minutes and find out about the next PQ, the next Positive Intelligence program. Would that be okay to do that after we close down? I forgot to ask you. Thumbs up?
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay, great. So that's what we're going to do today. Any questions before we get rolling? Okay, so everybody raise their hand. I want everybody to raise their hand like this. Oh, wonderful. I know you're doing it. And Lee, I bet you are. And Betty, okay, I'm going to imagine you guys are all raising your hand. I am willing. Repeat after me.
I am willing.
Oh, you guys are all mute. That's fine. I am willing to step it up a little bit and be honest and vulnerable as much as I'm able to.
Step up and
Yeah, just I'm willing to put out 10% more.
10% more.
Put out 10%. God, I got to work on my language. Anyway, I'm willing to give this a shot. How's that?
I'm willing to give this a shot.
There we go. Well done. Whew. Wow, that was a tough one. It sounded so much better in my head. Okay, so here's what we're going to do, you guys. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to get the whiteboard, and I think I can do that. Yes, I can. Yay, whiteboard. Okay, so I'm going to get a whiteboard here. And what we're going to do is, while I'm getting this set up, here's what I want you to think about. I'm going to ask you guys a bunch of questions, and go ahead and unmute. Everybody unmute. Yoop, doop, 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 doop. Everybody's unmuted. Yeah. What we're going to do is I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want you guys, to the best of your ability, to just throw it out. No censoring. We're just going to put all our reactions to cells. I want to see, we're going to have a big, what are we going to do here? Come on. Okay. So here's my first question, and just call it out. And I'm not a terrible typist. I'm a creative. Yeah, that's the word I'm
Creative.
using. So spelling is not
There
optional.
we
and it
go.
doesn't
You're
have-
just a creative
Oh,
type.
there you go. That's the word.
Love it.
So when you guys think of yourself as a salesperson, what comes to mind? No filter.
Sleazy.
Sleazy. Okay.
Bad.
Bad.
Invasive.
Invasive.
Unknowledgeable.
Okay, hold on here. Let me just go here.
Rude.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna have to make this a little bit bigger. Hold that thought.
Rude.
Invasive. Oh, rude. I think invisible. No.
Pushy.
Rude.
Mm.
Pushy.
Need skills.
Need skills. Oh yeah. Don't get it.
Greedy.
Greedy.
Car salesman, shady.
Car salesman.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at car salesman. I think that pretty much about does it.
Slippery.
Slippery.
Yeah. It goes
Okay.
along with shady. Yeah.
Oh, we got shady too. Okay, shady.
Stupid.
Stupid. Tell me about stupid.
Like unknowledgeable. Like you don't know what you're talking about.
Hungry.
Hungry.
Desperate.
Desperate. Good enough. Okay. Anything else? So let me ask a couple more questions. Oh, there's more. Did I hear anything else? Nope. So let me ask you this, you guys. When you're standing in front of somebody, or when you have the opportunity to speak up, like you have an opportunity to sell, right? Oh, you guys can do that too. Look at that. You can. Jackie, what are you doing there? Is that cool? You can
I don't know. I just clicked on it and I'll remove what I just did.
No, go ahead. Keep doing it. This is awesome. Except for you moving my thing, man. This is great.
They're all over, they're all on top of each other. So I was like, can I move that? I didn't realize I had
What is
access.
it doing? Hey, it's all fun. This is technology. Everybody has access. Okay. Well, if you guys all have, I've never done this before. Go ahead and write yourself. This is hilarious. Oh my God. Okay, so here's my other question. When you guys are, let's just say you have an opportunity, and this is a golden opportunity. You have a chance to really step it up, and this is something you've wanted, right? And this is what you've worked for. And I'm not talking, sometimes it can be a little thing, but sometimes it's a big thing. Tell me just like mine that was saying things like, you're gonna make an idiot out of yourself. Anybody have their favorite flavor of saboteur language?
What do you mean?
I don't know what saboteur language is.
Oh,
What do you mean?
Jackie, thank you. Give the woman a flag. That's exactly what I wanted somebody to say. So for me, my little saboteur thing will say something like, you're going to make an idiot out of yourself. People are going to laugh at you. Oh, you're too old. That's my favorite one. You're too old. You missed that window of opportunity, sister.
Hmm.
Mine will say, this is why we can't have nice things.
Mhm.
Mine says you haven't had a job for 20 years,
Oh, there we go.
and so you can't make money. You can
Mm.
produce a lot of things, but you can't make money.
Producer, no moolah. Got it.
Who were you?
Yeah, who are you? Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are, right?
That's so sweet.
Mine will say you've been on disability for over 2 decades. You're not going to be able to find a sustainable job that can get you retired. It's a long conversation.
Got it. Let me move this here. I don't know what that's doing there. Okay. So I'm going to say, you're on disability. You can't do this.
Yep.
Is that Jen or is that?
Yeah. Sorry, I keep having to turn off my camera.
No, it's totally okay. You're on disability. You aren't able. Is that probably?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't this feel great to do? I don't know about
Yeah,
you
it
guys.
does.
I'm just feeling the warm and fuzzies right now. What else?
If you sell too much, people might not like you.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. If you sell too much, people won't like you.
Yeah, mine sometimes says too, who do you think you are to have success?
Who do you on the way? Sorry, I can't see what I'm doing here.
How about, do you really want to be a shark?
Ooh, God, these are so good, and I wish somebody else could do this because these are really good. I'm
I
having a
think we
hard.
can each type it in.
Why
Yeah, I
don't
think
you-
so. It
Go
seems
for it.
interactive.
Okay, go for it.
Mm.
Start writing it in, guys.
Thing
Can
of
you
the
see-
past, for me, it was, they're all gonna talk about you and say not to listen to you.
Okay.
When I was in MLM, that I had that feeling a lot.
Mhm.
Can you guys see what you're writing?
Going to go wrong.
I don't see anything.
Okay, this is
Have
what.
to, you have to create a text box?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's do
Oh,
that.
I think I moved it.
This is so much
I was
fun.
like, how do I type something? And I think I moved it.
It's totally okay. I'm gonna just see what we can do here. I think maybe somebody can start doing this in the
Like,
chat too. You don't have enough to talk about. You're unworthy. You don't know what you're talking about. Why even try? You're a failure. Bring it. Let's see what else. Keep going, you guys. People are gonna shy away.
Mine is you're gonna lose your resources and you won't have sustainable income. You'll be screwed.
Yeah. Your resources. Your
Nobody will show up for you.
nobody will show up for you. Can you guys all see this?
Mhm.
The
Okay.
toolbar where you create the text box disappeared for me.
Yeah, well, sadly it's right here for me. Okay. Oh, I just
You
love-
got this.
You could type it in the chat, Edie.
I know. I'm gonna go ahead. I think I'm just gonna go ahead. If you haven't seen it up there, go ahead and spit it out. Let's do this.
Everybody's got everything.
I like it. That's cool.
I like it. No, that's
You
not.
know,
I was enjoying this process. I think it's neat. Like,
There you
Like,
go.
your
First time I've seen
credentials. That's something. What are your credentials?
Ah, credentials.
I
the
need more.
next-
You need more education.
You need more
Yeah.
education.
Mhm.
I'll say, why would people listen to you?
You missed the boat.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ah, listen to you.
I'm so glad to not feel alone anymore.
You missed the boat. That's
Yeah.
right. You missed the boat. I should have majored in.
Excuse me.
Oh.
you're not intelligent.
Ooh, majored in. You're not intelligent.
You waste. I put you wasted your time in my little box over here.
You're
wasted
only in it for the competition, not because of my needs.
competition. Not for my needs or not for.
For that person's needs, but
Right.
You're in it for yourself.
yeah.
Yes. Competition for yourself. Absolutely. For yourself. Kind of like who cares about the customer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's
All of your things, Sandy, are like going way low. So they're because you're in the same
You can
text
scroll this-
box or whatever. So we can't see any but the
Scroll
rest.
it down. You can scroll it down, same as you can type it. Go to the right side of the screen and you can hit the scrolling bar and scroll it.
all right. Am I going the right way or the wrong way?
No, anybody can scroll it down.
Oh, yeah. Anybody can. Okay, there you go. Oh, somebody moved it. Thank you. Okay.
I think that was me.
Is that Betty? Hi, Betty. Okay, anybody else? Wow.
That was probably me. I'm trying to drive and pay attention.
Oh, God.
Oh,
No.
no, Betty,
No
don't write.
typing, Betty.
Please. Betty, I love you. Don't write. I don't know you, but please don't write and drive. You're good.
We're recording so you can watch it afterwards too.
Absolutely. And you have a saboteur telling you have to do that. So tell it to stop. Okay. So any more you guys can think of?
There's no way you can get out from under your debt.
Oh, is that a good one?
Ouch.
There's
way
no
out.
way
Yeah,
you
that's not
can
gonna work.
get out of your debt.
Dang it.
Yeah. There's no way.
Oh, here's one. I wish I was like them.
Ah,
Ooh.
I did that earlier today.
I did. Okay.
Gosh,
Whoopsie.
Yeah,
right?
that's not one. I was just commenting on hers.
See? Okay. I don't like this whiteboard. Just between the two of the 5 or 7 of us, I'm not a fan of this whiteboard. But
It might be easier to use the one in Canva. Not with everybody.
now she tells me. All right, fine. Okay, so you guys get the idea. Can you see all of these?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Very organized.
Thank you.
there you go.
Teamwork.
So here's my question. As you're looking at all of these, which one is the one that really gets you the most?
Mine is that you're going to lose your resources and be screwed.
Okay,
It's a very scary position.
it is. Fraught with a lot, you
Secret
betcha.
fish bowl.
Who else?
Pushy.
Pushy.
Mm.
Okay.
Mine is, shoot, what was the word? Mine's a perfectionist.
I have to do it perfect.
Mhm,
Ooh, how many of you have that one?
mhm.
Yep. It's got to be perfect. Anybody else?
Yeah, it has
But,
to
yeah.
retry.
I used to.
Mine's about not being worthy.
Mine too.
Don't make
Mine's
me-
around that the proof of having not done it before and that money proof.
Mm.
Wait, say that again.
Well, mine is, I think it's probably around being worthy and deserving. But the proof of not making money before and now all of a sudden needing to make money.
Oh,
You know, that we in social media, it's social proof, but I guess it's money proof.
so the
That
pressure is for you the fact that if I don't make money, it proves that you can't.
Yeah. Right.
yeah,
Well,
I
if you
think
don't
just that I haven't made
previous
money
proof.
before on my own because I was a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
That yeah, can I do it now?
Right.
That's not gonna work.
Do I have the skills? Do I have everything that it takes?
I want you guys, as you hear one that really sings, that's not the word I want to use for this. The one that really you kind of feel that, ugh, right? I want you to write that down. Cindy, you had your hand raised. What was yours?
Being misunderstood.
Mm.
Because,
How does
you
that
know,
play out? How does that play out in sales?
well, because I think, like when I said earlier about being a shark, you know, you don't want to come off like a shark. You want to come off at some, so I don't want to get ahead of where you're at, but you know, I had to reframe things for myself. So
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of these negative things I had to reframe so that I could move forward and, you know, build my businesses. Because like you said, the saboteur wants to pop your bubble, pop your, you know, and take all the wind out of your sails, when what we need to do, and that's what I hear you say is where you're going with this is, you know, we need to empower ourselves.
You know, and I'm really glad you brought that up. Here's the thing about saboteurs. They don't care about empowering. Do you know what I mean? And I know you get this because they're sneaky. And I love that reframing means you have to be able to know that they're up to something. The thing that's so tricky about some of our saboteurs is that I got hijacked. I've been doing this work for how long? I was hijacked for 4 hours. And then all of a sudden it was like, whoa, I should have, you know, oh my God, look at that. Right. So to your point, Cindy, dead on, right? As long as we know what it is. We sometimes, here's the thing, we're going to do a little breakout room in a second. But what I want to say, when we do this breakout room, I'm going to give you a kind of a prelude to it. What we're going to do with this is we're going to talk about this without the story. Saboteurs love a story. They love a good story. They love, Jen, I know about disability. They love a good story. You know, Karen, people, you know, I didn't work for 10 years. They love a good story. And what happens is when we get caught up in our stories, we never get to it. So I want to be really clear for people that are new to the world of saboteurs. This isn't your inner child. This isn't any of that stuff. What this is a mechanism in our survival brain.
Mhm.
Nothing personal, it just does what it does. There's no logic to it, but it's sneaky because we're very smart people. So I've said this before in my classes, but I want to say it here, that some of the most successful spies during World War II were the ones that were hanging over the fence with you drinking a beer, with your husband, or was, the president of the PTA, or was your next door neighbor that always was the guy that would help you mow the lawn. Those were the spies. And that's a lot of times how we have to consider our saboteurs. It's not the beautiful essence of who we are, the lovely people we are, but there's no logic to it. So, any questions before we go to the next activity? Comments, thoughts?
I had a
can
thought.
see- Oh, sorry.
Yeah, let's do
It's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
I just had a thought on it. It reminds me, it seems to be connected to the things that try to keep us safe, like those thoughts that are trying to keep us safe in the known of where we've been, even if it's chaotic known, even if it's something we don't want to be in anymore and all that other stuff. It's really coming. That's what's coming up for me as you're teaching it, is that it seems like these are things like, well, if you're telling yourself you can't do something, it's keeping you safe from having the failure of not doing it, right? So it's giving you that comment. Am I on the right track?
Absolutely. It
Okay.
worked when we were 5 years old. It worked
Mhm.
really well. It worked well when we were 6 or 7 or 8. When you get to 58, 56, 57,
It doesn't work
36,
anymore.
37, it's like it didn't get the memo. And it's not like we're not trying to get rid of our survival skills. If there was a fire, you do not want to stop and go, oh, I think I need to do a saboteur interceptor. You want to get the hell out of the house because the house is burning down. So this isn't about saying, I'm never going to fill this. This is about intercepting it, quieting it down so you can access the part of your brain where the yummy stuff hangs. Okay.
Yes, yummy. Sorry, I
Yummy.
had to say that.
Jen, you got a question?
Yeah, okay, so I can see how even in just some networking meetings yesterday, as I was introducing myself for the first time, how my story crept in. And but it's interesting. It's like I see the love-hate with that. Like I see that allows me to continue to identify with it and still claim victimhood. But I also
claim victimhood. Woo.
yeah.
Boy.
But I also see how the victimhood keeps me stuck, but also helps me get the resources I need to get unstuck. So how do I work with?
So this is the $1 million question, and we could spend a lot of time. What I'm gonna tell you is when you hold that in sage versus saboteur, it's
Okay.
not successful. Because what you're talking about is I succeed, but what's the price? Cindy, you were talking about, reframing, and it's like, yeah, I would be sweating bullets trying to reframe, but and I could do it, but what was the price? So that's so what we're talking about is how do we hold it? So we're going to do this just because I want to make sure you guys get the goodies.
Okay.
Oh God, I could talk for hours.
I would love to chat with you afterwards. I don't want to take it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a huge part I'm stuck on, and I want to get unstuck.
I totally get it. Okay, so here's wonderful. You have something?
I do. I'm not gonna get on camera yet, but I am with Cindy saying, as Jen is saying, and like all of the things. But the way I've been able to explain how profound this work has been is because we're so logical, and especially in the space of business, in the space of living, logic has saved our lives. Duh, get out of the house, it's burning. However, it's the consistent practice of engaging the brain on its own. It's like this subconscious language of what this work does. It's like what Sandy said, it's working under the hood. It's not about, oh, look, what's the new paint color? But it's like, it needs a new engine altogether. It like
Which is
needs
what
a
this little
4.0, 6.0.
You got
And
it.
so I just want to impart this. We're looking for logic right now. The questions you're asking is you're looking for logic. And the thing is, your subconscious doesn't give a crap about logic. It's just doing what it's doing for survival purposes. And we have to retrack what our survival mechanism is. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Love you all. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Thank you. And thank you, wonderful. That's a great lead up, because what we're going to do now because this is just the baby steps, right? Because wonderful, and some of these people have done an 8-week course. So I want you guys, my desire and my hope is that you guys walk away with one tool so that you can go out there and shine. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. In a minute, wait. First, I want you to write down the sentence. What is the sentence that gets you? I just want you to take a minute because I'm going to put you in breakout rooms, and I want you, it doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be the ultimate, just one sentence. Mine is you're going to make an idiot out of yourself. That's usually a pretty good one. Especially when I'm doing, it doesn't have to be every single time, just one. Just think the last time you were in front of somebody and you were trying to say, hey, come join me with my work. I would love to have you. It will cost this much. And your brain goes, that's what I want. When you have it, give it a thumbs up, and I'll tell you what we're going to do next. Okay.
The one sentence out of all of those that grabbed us the most.
Yeah, just one. We're just playing
Okay.
with one. It's the one that the loudest. I mean, Jen, I don't know, maybe for years it's like, I can't make money. You can't make money. Period at the end of that sentence. You can't make money. Well, no, it's because blah, 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 blah. But just whatever that one sentence is.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be perfect. Trust me, it'll become very clear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys into breakout rooms. Karen, can you make me the host for a sec? And here's what we're going to do. Just right over in participants. Am I host? Oh, yay. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break you guys up into breakout rooms. Let's see. We have 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. We'll have one. Oh, wait, actually we have 10 because we have 2 and 1. Okay. I know. We'll figure this out. I'm going to go ahead and put you in breakout rooms. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to put on a hat, like an anthropological field trip. You get your little pithy hat thing on, whatever they call those little beanie hats that they put on. And what I want you to do is you're going to interview your pal and you're going to say, tell me about that voice. Is it a young voice? Is it an old voice? Tell me what this voice looks like. And keep asking, well, I don't know. It's just there. Okay. Is it loud? Is it soft? Do you guys want me to do a demo or do you guys think you get it?
I get it.
Okay. Here's the deal. All you want to do, because we're going to take this later and you're going to start giving it a face so you won't be fooled again. Okay. Okay, so without further ado, what I'm going to do, breakout rooms, you're each going to get 5 minutes. There might be 3 in 1. You guys will figure it out. 3.5 minutes. I trust that you guys will be able to do this. And I will give, let's see, create 1, 2, 3. I think I'll do 4. This is so exciting. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. I think I can actually use a little microphone thing.
Just a little clarification. We're going to tell the other person our sentence and then they're going to ask us about it.
Yeah, they're going to ask you about it. Here's a little thing. This is a little cautionary tale. If you guys find yourself telling stories like, well, that was because when I was 7, or it's because, and Jen, I get disability, it's because I'm in disability. That's the thing that keeps us away. That's what our saboteurs love, stories. So no story. Period.
Keep us in victimhood.
Yeah, it's just like that. And it's like victimhood. Tell me what a victim looks like. Tell me what in your, like, is that a young voice? Is it an old voice? Is it a woman? Is it a man? You know, do they have a little hat on? I mean, whatever it is, interview each other. But here's the kicker. Anthropological field trip for both of you. I want you both to be thoroughly fascinated. Don't get hijacked if you can. Just play with this, which means that when you're talking about something that's like, ugh, it's just like, wait, anthropological field trip. I am just fascinated to no end. Okay. Thumbs up. Okay, guys, go forth and talk. Well, yeah, what can I say? Hey, look who's here. All right, guys. So everybody's back. Yay. I understand there were a few people that did not get a chance to do that. If you want to stay after, we'll help you all out. We'll give you 3 minutes and we'll all interview you. So anything, thoughts, feelings, curiosities?
Well, do we know who our saboteur is from that question? From people talking to us?
will you know will you recognize the voice of your saboteur?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. That's the question I'm asking you.
Okay, okay.
I have something I want to share. I've done the work with my beautiful friend Sandy, and I was in the room with my friends who've done it as well, which is Karen and Heather and Charlie. So it was kind of an interesting thing. But I shared something with them that I had never shared, even in my class with Sandy, that the more that I've understood my saboteurs, these little, excuse my language, assholes that live in my mind, I recognize that it predominantly, because I grew up in a very hostile household, but perfect on the outside, that my saboteur is an angry person trying to chase me down. So I never stop. That's where all my impatience comes from. Because if I stop, I get caught, then I'll be dead. So it's either
Yeah.
dead or alive. It's very extreme. Dead or
Mm.
alive. That's it. End
There
of
you go.
story. And that
Thank
was fascinating
That
to
is
discover.
absolutely. And I want to make sure we have enough time so you guys get the hack. Did you guys, I want to make sure I didn't. Did you guys realize that this was the voice for your cells saboteur? What it says to you? So
Mhm.
It started out that way, but it became like a, oh my gosh, this is where it's coming from, and it became the voice of others.
yeah, and this is we're simplifying this because I'm trying to take an 8-week program and go, just let's walk away with one thing. If you hear that one voice, that's all for right now, right? That one voice, and you're in the middle of doing something for your business or for yourself, and you go, oh, I know that voice. Because there's going to be a little homework assignment after this so that you have texture to that voice. That And Jackie, I'm going to take one more, and then I want to make sure we have time to do a little brain.
Yeah, mine, when she was asking me questions, I was with Jen, and it came back to like my own voice of shame and guilt, because my statement was, don't charge too much in case they can't afford it, give a deal, make sure that everybody can be supported, and going through that. And that came from me. It really shined through me going, can I afford it? Because I was always in survival mode my whole life, trying to figure out how I can make it to the next thing, how I can pay for college, how I can pay for the car, how can I like go on spring break by selling 12 trips to go on spring break and get a free trip, and like always like had to figure out. And so as she was asking me questions, I was like, this was just me reflecting like my own story that I created of through survival that kept like going, okay, you've got to help people survive versus thrive and stand in their own power and their own strength and let them make the decision, and all that stuff. So it was interesting that I was like, it's got to come from a story from something else. No, it was me. Like from,
So here's a thing. Can I play with this for a second?
yeah.
Okay. When you say it came from me, this is the pisser about saboteurs. That is a saboteur voice. And if
Mhm.
you'll play with this for a minute with me, there's no bad dog, because it's like, but you don't understand. This is like how I survived. That is actually, let me ask you something. When you were talking about that, how does that voice in your head sound?
I was telling her it sounded like background music, not necessarily the primary. It wasn't like the song.
No,
It was
it's
like
okay.
this.
Kind of a little, so it's kind of out there, but is
Yeah.
it like soft jazz? Is it like trombones? I mean, when you say music, it's
It's like
that.
the sad song. It's the sad
Okay, so
song
there's
of
like,
like,
that there's some violins playing, right?
yeah,
So when
yeah,
the
like,
Okay,
yeah.
so you know that all of a sudden when you hear in the background, there's a little bit of a violin, a thread, a note, a little sonata, or whatever they're called. When you start hearing that violin, right? And
Mhm.
is this a little person that's doing it? Is it like what are we talking about? Just
There's actually, now that you say that, it's almost like a superhero kind of like a,
that's
I
right.
will,
That's
I
right.
will, I will protect you.
So you're in the
It was
middle
like,
of doing a sales call, and you've got this violin that all of a sudden turns into, I can do this.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that seems like it would be a really good thing, doesn't it? Like, isn't that, doesn't that help me survive? Doesn't that help me thrive? That?
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like we start looking at it and it's like, well, where's the ease in that?
Mm-hmm.
What would it be like to hold that really lightly, right? To hold that
Mm-hmm.
really lightly and have ease with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, I'm so sorry. You guys are leaving. Can you stay for 4 minutes so we can do the one? Oh, wonderful. Are you leaving?
It's just wonderful.
Oh,
Like if
I
she's
don't
done
mean
this
just
already.
wonderful. Oh, I'll
Not
talk to you.
just wonderful, meaning like she's already done this.
Thank you. Let's all get kissies. Okay. Okay. So I want to make sure that we have time for the hack. But can you see what I was saying right there? It feels so
Mhm.
much like it's me, right? Feels so much like
Mhm.
this is me, but it's like we start thinning it out a little bit. So when you start hearing those violins, it's like, ooh, something's going on. Okay. So
Mhm.
I want to make sure we're going to take a minute, and then I hope we have a little bit more time to debrief after this. What I want you to do now is I want you to think about whatever that story is, right? Whatever that was that you guys were, that whatever it brought up. And what I want you to do here is I want you to put your two fingers together like so. Very, very lightly. Start rubbing them with such attention. Go ahead and close your eyes. With such attention that you can feel the ridges of your skin. 100% concentration. Ever so lightly. And when you're ready, open your eyes. How do you feel now?
Calmer.
Centered.
Focused.
Pure or balanced.
Anybody went, nothing.
More grounded.
More grounded. Anybody else?
Focused.
My mind is quieter.
Connected.
How about you, Cindy?
Peaceful.
Peaceful.
That, my friends, is a brain hack. And that, in the moment, when you're feeling the violins come on, that's the practice. Obviously, positive intelligence has a lot more than that because it's really boot camp for that. But I want to let you guys know that if you take that picture, and I'm going to share this with you really quickly. Oh no, not that one. Wow, what a schedule, hun. Wait, what the heck? Hold on here. God, it was so dramatic too. Damn, I hate it when that happens. Hold on here. Oh, right. This is my cell saboteur. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Really? Uh-huh. Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, that's my favorite one. Yeah, there we go. When that little honey bunny, because isn't she a sweetheart?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. When that little honey bunny comes up, take a breath. And the reason why I showed you that little honey bunny is because I give texture to everything. If you put, I know people that put a picture there, not because they're trying to scare the hell out of themselves, but that you won't be fooled again. So when you're aware of that, especially around sales is its own little creation over here because nothing brings up fear like sales. So if you put it over there and just play with it, that's my hope for you. Those are the first two muscles of positive intelligence. Sage is yummy. But for right now, when you do that, I look at it as a gateway, that peace and ease. That's the gateway to goodbye. Bye, Judith. Oh, Mercury's out of retrograde. Thank God. Okay. So, ladies, any questions? I want to give you a little, I have a little bye-bye, beautiful little quote, but I just want to double check that that's the whole point of this is don't be fooled again. And we will be.
Okay.
Always.
So yeah, I have a question. We are saying like, okay, so as I started discussing my sentence and my voice, the question started leading me to two very abusive and toxic people in my world, but that wound up taking the saboteur voice out of me and giving it a face, a physical face that I could see of fear. So I feel like the fear is the saboteur and not those people that have been very fearful for me.
The easiest way I can describe that is anytime you feel crappy, there's a saboteur. Saboteurs thrive on fear. It's just the way it is. We're never going to get rid of that. I personally prefer a saboteur when it comes to a self-saboteur. I don't want a face of anybody I know because that triggers a whole different thing.
Yeah, and it takes
and
me
there's-
out of a place of empowerment.
Yeah, and it's just like there's a place for that. This modality isn't that place. There's therapy, there's, I mean, there's all that stuff that we do to
Right.
deal with that stuff. But it's that picture, not to go, oh, but it's the picture that goes, oh, I hear those little violin strings. I know what's going on. Liar, liar, liar. And so obviously at this level, we're doing we're running a couple minutes late and I want to be respectful of people's time. But I want to let you know that this is just one sample of what positive intelligence is about. But this little sucker, you can do any time. You can do it in the moment. That is the power. But you can't do it if you don't know something's going on. So any questions? I wish we had about 4 more hours because oh my God, I love this stuff. So any questions before we?
No.
Nope. Okay. God, you guys, thank you so much. And those that want, I have a special, a very special, I've got a pod coming up, a positive intelligence class coming up. And if those are interested, please stay. I've got a very special offer for people that came to this class. So if you're interested, please stay. Otherwise, I send love and love and love. Au revoir. Au revoir. Au revoir. There we go.
Sandy, do you want to stop recording? Because you are host now.